guys. Not a glamour shot for sure. Just laying here in bed and haven't realized it's been 2 weeks since I did any sort of video. I know most of y'all know what went down. But I didn't really get to talk to everybody in detail about how it went down and everything with Doc. So I'm trying not to cry, because if I start crying, you ain't gonna understand a word I'm trying to say. But it's still hard to think about, talk about. But for those of y'all that don't know, which like I said is very few probably, my son Doc passed away in the hospital on July the 6th of the doctor called it multi-organ failure due to sepsia. So basically everything was shutting down at that point. His little body couldn't handle everything going on. It doesn't seem like it's been almost 2 weeks. It doesn't. Like, this house has been so quiet. Not to go into too great a detail about everything, but the doctors and nurses have been so amazing and continue to do so up until we left the hospital for that last time. The doctor, Dr. Conrad, she was amazing. Like, she kept having even, just that little glimmer of hope until finally, she said, we're going to have to put him on blood pressure medicine, because his heart's trying to fail and everything. And then it was like, well, we knew that he wasn't going to get better. He wasn't going to come out of this. And it's just a hard pill to swallow. That number one, you've only had 2 years with your son, and you hope and pray that they were the best 2 years that you could give him. But at the same time, you question, why was I even able to get pregnant if he was just going to be taken from me? I still don't understand it. I still question why. I mean, I know he's up there with Grandpa and Great Grandpa and his grandmother and great grandmother, but I'm selfish. I want him here back with me still, even knowing that that's not possible. But anyways, kind of went on a side rant there. Sunday night, early Monday morning is when Dr. Conrad come in and said, this is it. We can give him medication to keep him alive long enough to get family members in that haven't seen him that want to see him, but me and Bradley made the decision just to stop. And it was the hardest thing we'd ever had to do because we didn't want to. But we still knew it was the right thing to do. So the doctor and the nurses, they worked it to where I could hold him for a little bit that night, or I could hold him as long as I wanted to, but I held him for about an hour, and then I think just all my emotions and just everything come crashing down on me, and I started feeling sick, and so I just had to get up. But I got to hold him for an hour, a little over an hour maybe. And we were waiting on the paralysis drug to wear out of his system so they could take the ventilator out and let him go peacefully without the ventilator. So when she finally, Dr. Conrad finally said it's wore off, we could take the ventilator out. They did, and they made room for me in the bed, and I was able to lay beside him as he passed. And walking out of that hospital, knowing that I couldn't walk back in and he would be there, was the hardest thing I had to do. I about didn't make it to the car. But we went back to the hotel, and then I just told Bradley, I said, I want to go home. I said, being here in the hotel made me feel like we could go back to the hospital and keep fighting. Even though that wasn't an option anymore. So we only stayed back at the hotel for like 2 hours, and then we just packed up and left and come back home. And it was harder to come back home because it was like we had left it a month ago. Like, his toys were everywhere, clothes were everywhere. Everything was everywhere. I don't think some people realized how much I needed him. Like, this baby was my world. Like, I literally, on the day he was born, February 1st, 2018, I went to work that morning like normal. I left early because I couldn't feel him move. I hadn't been feeling him move. And the doctor said, okay, we're going to have a baby today. And I had him that night before midnight. And we had made the decision that I was going to stay home. He was stuck to me like glue. I hardly left him anywhere. He only slept overnight with my mom one time. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he was my world. Doc was my stinking world. And like I said, I still question why I even got to have him. Because he was taken from me so young. And I've had so many people ask me since, he passed away and the funeral and everything, how are you doing? How are you doing? And honestly, it's day by day, hour by hour. Some days I get up and I don't want to do anything, and I don't. Sometimes I just lay here and look at his pictures all day and listen to the videos that I've took of him over his little short life. And I read something, it's a support group that this mom has made for the Chattanooga area of anybody that's lost a child. And one mom had posted that you're never going to be the same woman that you was before you lost that child. And it's true. I'm not the same woman that I was before Doc passed, or even before I had Doc. And I'm not going to be the same ever again. I guess that's the best way that I can answer everybody when they ask, are you doing alright? Are you doing alright? I guess my answer would be, a short version is, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm never going to be that woman that I once was before. And then to add insult to injury, we left our dog, Dixie, at my mom's house until Monday because Bradley had bereavement. He had to go back Tuesday to work. We went and picked her up Monday night, got her home. She started eating. Bradley was in the bathroom. I was in here in the bedroom. And she'd started eating, and we heard a noise, and we thought she had, like, a bug had flew on her or something. I don't know. Anyways, like she had jumped or something. Well, I run in there where she was eating, and she came over to me, looked at me, and then fell on the ground and started having a seizure. Like, eyes rolling back in her head, kicking her feet, going at a backwards U shape, everything. So I start screaming bloody murder for Bradley. I'm like, I just lost my son. I can't lose my dog too. That insult to injury, like I said, I can't lose her. So I immediately jumped and put my clothes back on because I just got ready for bed. Put my clothes back on, rushed her to the Bradley County, Charleston animal clinic, emergency hours animal clinic. They work off of volunteer vets, so their volunteer vet, even though they open at 6, they had an emergency where she actually works, and she wasn't going to get there till 7, so we ended up driving all the way into Chattanooga on the Lee Highway at that animal clinic. And by that point, Dixie had had 4 what we thought were seizures within 45 minutes. And they did a whole bunch of tests and everything, and I've got to take her back Monday for an echocardiogram on her heart. But the vet seemed to think she was having syncope episodes instead of actual seizures, because she was like resting and coming back to her lucid self. Whereas with a seizure, they're gonna act not the same. So we found out for sure that Dixie was born with an enlarged heart, and she also has a heart murmur grade 3 out of 6. So yeah, just to add insult to injury, I thought I was gonna lose my dog on Monday. And for any of y'all that know Dixie, she's this hyper dog. Gets excited over anything. Bird in the yard, somebody walking down the street, somebody coming to the door. And they told me to keep this dog quiet and not hyper. I'm like, okay, I can try. Basically, I don't know what else I can do for her. I can try. But yeah, that's how the past 2 weeks have gone. I lost my son last Monday. We buried him on Saturday. Brought the dog home on Monday. She started having those fits, so I've had to watch her real close all week. Still haven't brought the fish home. Doc's fish, his first ever pet, baby Bobo. Still haven't brought her home. I don't know when we're going to be bringing her home, honestly. I feel like my life was a mess before, but now I just feel like it is a complete and total mess. I don't know what else to use for that. I don't know. Just my emotions have been all over the place. I know Bradley's has been all over the place, and he's one of those people where, like, in times like this, he needs to be doing something all the time. And that's what gets his mind off of it, and we're complete opposites. So I just want to sit and do nothing. And like we're complete and total opposites. So like last week, all week we were running, trying to keep our mind busy and everything like that, and then it's just like we crashed. And we said with his funeral, we didn't want it to be all sad. We wanted his happy memories to come out and be remembered and everything like that. And it was so many people showed up that loved Doc. And with all this coronavirus stuff going around, some people wasn't able to make it, because they've been sick or they're more susceptible to getting sick, in which me and Bradley totally understand. And I do have to give a big shout out to Tim Hawkins. I reached out to his wife, Casey. Casey and Tim have a son, Callan, who is less than, I like to always say less than 12 hours old, or younger, 12 hours younger than Doc, because Doc was born at 11:56 on the 1st, and I think Callan was born that morning or midday by, I think, C-section. Sorry, Casey, if I'm getting this wrong. But anyways, I reached out to her saying, hey, is there any way Tim can arrange like a police escort or something like that, because Doc had just gotten into fire trucks and police cars and all this kind of stuff, you know, construction equipment and everything. And she's like, yeah, let me see what I can do. Well, Tim himself showed up, dressed up, you know, nice tie, everything, and escorted us from the church to the cemetery, stayed and talked to us and everything like that. And like, that was above and beyond what I expected, you know, from what I asked and everything. And just so many people have supported us through this whole entire journey. And it's been amazing, all the support, but I wish the outcome had been different. This is not how I wanted this YouTube channel to go. It's not how I even wanted to start a YouTube channel. You know, I started it for other reasons, and then it just immediately jumped into my son's sick, and this is how it's went so far. And all I can say is I hope and pray that if you're watching this, you never, ever, ever have to deal with losing a child, because it breaks you. It really does. It breaks you into a million pieces. And I don't think you ever recover from that. Dixie's in there doing something. I'm gonna have to get off here, guys, and go check on her and make sure she's okay. But this video is longer than I thought it was gonna be. It's kind of a rant and ramble and everything, but I think you guys will understand. But I gotta go and check on the dog.